Welcome to Monster Monday. So tonight I'm going to finish up the Patreon request for Halgrimir. I had started a while back. I said that I was going to throw in the bonus Alien vs. Predator series, and I needed a Monster Monday. I was going to do 13 Ghosts, but I couldn't get a hold of it in time and decided, fuck it, let's go with the Alien versus Predator films, and we're going to do a twofer here in one video. So this is probably going to be a long one, but there you go. Let's finish it all up right now, and I can put them away later. First up, we've got, did I say thirst up? First up, we've got Alien versus Predator, a movie that we had been wanting for a while, like a Freddy versus Jason. And this was brought to us by Paul W.S. Anderson, not Paul Thomas Anderson, obviously. Now, Paul W.S. Anderson was best known for Event Horizon, Mortal Kombat, Soldier with Kurt Russell, which is a great flick if you haven't seen it, and Resident Evil, which he's directed a few of the Resident Evils. I want to say he's directed like 4 of them or more or something. I think it's 4 of them. But I really love the first Resident Evil. Big fan of the Mortal Kombat movie, the first one, not the second one. And Event Horizon is cool, and it has a television series in the work for Amazon right now. So that is going to be directed by Adam Wingard. So exciting thing there. So here's the thing. This is what's so stupid about this. Mortal Kombat should have been R-rated. Wasn't. But it still turned out good. You know, like, I don't know if Mortal Kombat's good, but you know what I mean. Fans of it were mostly pleased. But yeah, with this movie, we have Alien and Predator. Both have multiple films in their franchise, and every single one of them is R-rated. And what do? They put 2 R-rated franchises together and make it PG-13. Biggest mistake they made. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people who hate this movie. Like, hate this movie. And there's a lot of people who hate its sequel. Upon rewatch, I actually found myself really enjoying this movie. The biggest downside and the glaring problem within the film is its PG-13 rating. If this movie had insane gore and violence like we wanted it to have, it'd be considerably better. But as it stays right now, I actually quite enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I really liked the idea behind it. Not because... Here's the thing with the Alien versus Predator films. I feel like, you know, humans always have to be involved in some capacity. I had made a post maybe a year or 2 ago saying I always wanted to see a movie where humans and Earth had nothing to do with the film at all. Just like aliens we've never met before, never seen before, any of that kind of stuff. And we never come across a humanoid looking type person, just straight up like and make like emotional sequences and whatnot. I feel like they could pull it off now, but I was saying that I've never seen one before, and someone threw at me The Dark Crystal, and I was like, oh, because I said it also can't be animated, it has to be live action, and they said The Dark Crystal, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so, that kind of works. But I know of no film, no live action movie where there are no humans in it. And of course, humans want to see other humans or have Earth or something involved so that they can feel connected to the film. So they wanted to create this movie with humans in it. And how do we do that? How do we get humans in the middle of aliens fighting predators? And they come up with this idea of having a pyramid that predates any other civilization that we knew in Antarctica. And here they go and find it. They just so happen to find it just as the aliens or the predators are coming back. You know, it is what it is. But they go, and yeah, I mean, this would be the most historic find in the history of the world. Like, if they found a pyramid that had, you know, all these cultures that were there, and then there was like an alien race that they could show that they worshipped in there and whatnot. So when they are like, yeah, we're gonna go, and they put all this money in there and all that, I'm like, oh man, this would be the most insane find ever. So I absolutely understand why they would go and why Charles Whalen would do this. Now, how connected this franchise actually is, and if this is considered as part of the actual Alien franchise, whatnot, I have no idea. But we got Charles Whalen here. So is he the grandfather of Peter Whalen, maybe, if we're going to try to connect the later films or the earlier films, but later in the timeline, earlier in the theaters? So yeah, of course, they go around, they round up this team. You've got like an archaeologist, you've got an ice climber, you've got these people. And Whalen's his middle name is Bishop. And so it's played by Lance Henriksen, who we know played Bishop. So this is the archetype for what would be then Bishop. And if that's true, then you have the Alien 3 Bishop as well. But that Bishop would be long dead by this point. So that was a android Bishop. Man, as I said, a pyramid in Antarctica would be the holy grail of archaeological finds. I like they go out and they land on this boat in the middle of the sea, and they're breaking through the ice, and that reminded me of AMC's The Terror, which I really need to finish. I didn't finish it. It's a great show, what I've seen of it. The second season's coming out here, I think this month or something, so I really, really need to get back onto that. It just kind of reminded me of it. Now, one thing that always annoys me when they have text up on the screen, and it's like, location, Antarctica, mission, classified, or destination, I think, was like classified, or mission, it doesn't matter. And it's like, classified, fuck you. We're the audience. Okay, you can tell us. We're not going to tell anybody. Your secret's safe with us, the audience. You can tell us what your shit is. Classified. We have clearance, okay? It's on a need-to-know basis. And let me tell you something. As the audience, we need to know. It's enough with your classified on the screen bullshit. So then they get to an abandoned whaling town, which, of course, you know me, I'm big into the abandoned where is everybody towns. And in this version of it, the Alien versus Predator extended cut, which is like a minute longer, you get to see a guy running from an alien in the whaling town for about 30 seconds, and then he dies off screen, and then it just goes into the movie. So I think that's all that's new on this movie, and wow, I'm not surprised they cut it, because it's kind of lame. It doesn't play into the reveal later of like, oh shit, there's a town here. Yeah, and then there's a tunnel that's been cut overnight, which, yeah, what was their plan if it wasn't there? This thing's buried under the ground, which they knew because of their satellite imagery. So how are they going to get there? They were like, oh, this must be the most sophisticated technology on the planet. Nobody could do this. No one that we know of on the planet. And it's like, okay, if you know that to be true, then how are you going to get there? You didn't even know this. Like, that plan just blows my mind. I'm like, so you were going to, what, Andy Dufresne chisel away with a rock hammer for the next 20 years to get down there? Like, I don't understand. So they didn't really have much of a plan. As much money and as much effort as they put into this, they didn't seem to have a plan of how to get down there. But good thing that right before they came, they got this little real genius, laser beam that came through and cut right down into the core there. Now, one thing I'm going to absolutely praise the shit out of this movie for is the use of the practical effects in this. There's so much practical work in this, and almost all of it is unbelievably fantastic. The Queen alien, the Queen Mother alien, looks just, as good as the one in Cameron's Alien. The Predators look freaking badass, big, beefy, buff-ass Predators. The aliens look great. Their movement looks great. The fight sequences look great. Like the Predator versus the Queen and everything at the end. That all looks fantastic. The little pods getting laid and the face huggers coming out and jumping and all that. There's very little CGI, and it just looks fantastic. Another really cool moment in this movie for me is when they do the flashback of what had happened before, and there was like 3 predators up on the pyramid, and they were fighting like thousands and thousands of aliens, and it was like this sweeping shot, and it was just badass. And then they just detonate the bomb, and boom, it takes that whole thing out. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. How it got completely buried under ice, but then is completely unexposed. Like there was just a hole down there, and then the whole pyramid is like exposed underneath. So how did it was out in the open, we see it in the flashback, but now it's like completely covered in ice or whatever, but the structure itself isn't encased in ice. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, the weapons in this, the Predator's weapons in this are invisible, which I feel like is super unfair, but I don't remember if the Predator's weapons, I know his weapon on his shoulder went invisible with him, but I can't remember if he had an actual, because he has the blades, but everything's attached to his body. So I want to say this is the first time, maybe not, maybe in some of the other Predators. It's been a while since I watched the Predator 2, Predators, The Predator, all these movies. But I thought that was pretty cool. As I said, kind of unfair that they could throw a spear and it actually still remain invisible. Let's see. So this one of the dudes gets raptor flanked by the aliens. He's about to kill this one, and boom, here he is, and it's like, clever girl, and then boom, just jumps right on him. And I love the net, and it throws the net against the guy. And here's the thing. So the guy who gets caught in the net, one of the security guards on this detail, is the dude from Resident Evil. And in that movie, he's in the laser room, and the laser room cuts him into little cubes, and he falls apart. In this movie, the Predator catches him in a net, and the things are coming through him, and he gets cut into little cubes. We don't get to see it because it's a PG-13 rating, but that is what happened to the guy. So in 2 Paul W.S. Anderson movies now, this actor gets cut into cubes. He must be like, what the fuck, man? Why you always wanting to cut me into cubes? But yeah, I found that to be funny. And then the alien gets caught in the same net, and the acid blood breaks the net, but then it gives it character because all aliens look the same. Oh, I'm being racist now. Y'all look the same. But they do. And this thing gets character by getting all these lines around it and the green lines that it has from the blood protruding and whatnot. I think that's badass. I love the look of that thing. I love that it has its own personality, that we can identify, oh, that's the one from earlier, that's the badass one. So, it's kind of like Finn in Star Wars Episode 7, Force Awakens, when it's like all the stormtroopers, all look the same. And here we go, you got all the First Order troopers, and they're running around out there, and Finn gets the blood print across his face, and it's like, when they're out there now you know which one's Finn. You have to identify one of them. That's why Peter Jackson had to make the Hobbit dwarves all look completely different. Otherwise, if you were to stick to the books, they would all look almost identical, and you would have no connection to any of them. You'd just be like, which one's this again? Is that Feely? Is that Keely? Is that Biffer Bomber Bomber? You know, it's just like, well, I don't fucking know which one's which. You know, but because he gave them all different characteristics, now you can identify and you can take it. So I thought that was a cool idea to make one of them recognizable instantaneously, and it was a really cool look with the green line. So good choice there. And man, the aliens fuck the predators up in this, and vice versa. There's some brutal fights, and I think you're allowed to get away with so much if it's like alien on alien type stuff, but if it's you know, humans, then you can't go as nuts. But there's some good stuff there. And I like how he scans Waylon and he sees that he has cancer like riddled through his body, so he like throws him aside, like, you're not a threat, get out of here, just leave me alone, you can't even do anything, you're a weak little creature, you're dying anyways, bye, I don't got time for you, you're not worth me even raising my hand to kill. And he goes to walk away and Waylon's like, don't you turn your back, and he tries to kill him, he turns around and just kills him instantly. Like, bitch, I was trying to let you live, you could have enjoyed the last, you know, couple hours of your life, but nope. And then, yeah, because he tries to set him on fire. And then I like that the guy shoots one of the face huggers, and then he's like all proud of himself, and then it pans back and there's like 20 pods and they all start opening and they start crawling up, and that's cool. And then you hear a bunch of gunfire and it cuts away. I liked that scene a lot. And then the Predator and this girl kind of become teammates. I know there's probably people who don't really care for that, and I can understand that, but I didn't mind it. And I liked that he recognized her as a warrior, because I think that's why I can justify it, is that the Predators, above all else, they are, they respect warriors. That's what the original Predator's out there doing. He's trying to hunt the most dangerous prey that our planet has to offer him. And when he's defeated by Dutch, it's almost like a sense of accomplishment and pride in him. Like, you bested me. That's the way it feels to me. And so in this, like, this chick fights and she proves herself. So what does he do? He rips this alien apart, and he shows her, because he can't communicate with her, he can't talk with her. He takes the blood and he drips it on the ground. He drips it on the xenomorph's skeleton head, and it doesn't burn. And she's like, oh, I get it, I can use it as a shield. And then he makes its tail into a spear for her. So he fashions armor and a weapon out of an alien's body and gives it to her, and then they run off together. It's pretty cool shit, man. I liked that a lot. Pretty cool. And then little baby xenomorph, like, tries to jump out at him, and he just grabs it and then just snaps its neck with like a thumb. I laughed at that. That was great. And why would the ride up on that little tram that goes up? A, why didn't they take that down? Why were they rappelling down when they had that option? And B, I guess they had to be at the base to secure something to bring that thing down. I don't know. To make sure the ropes got all the way down there. I don't know. Regardless, there it is. But then she kicks the thing, and they go, and they start flying up the thing. Maybe she kicked the counterweight. I can't imagine at that 30-degree angle that would even apply. But somehow that thing is flying up this thing so fast that it can escape a bomb's fire, and it shoots them out of the tunnel into the air and across the frickin' whaling town. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, was this always how this thing was going to leave there? I didn't see her hit, like, the nitrous button or something for this thing to fly out of there so much faster. It seemed like she just hit the thing for it to go back up. Why would it ever want to go back up that fast? Especially when they're carrying around a 70-something-year-old man with cancer. I don't think that would be a fun ride for him. I don't know. But maybe, yeah, she rigs it so it'll go faster. But then he marks her as a warrior. And then they have the big fight with the queen, and she attaches it, and they kind of communicate. She's like, here, help me. And then he helps her, and they attach it to the thing, and the house is about to fall off and pull him on. It's not a house, it is a water tower, I think. Although it couldn't be a water tower out in Antarctica. That shit would freeze. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it looked like a water tower. But yeah. Kicks it off, and then he gets stabbed up through the chest, and he falls over after the thing gets pulled underwater, and it's being pulled down through the water and just getting probably crushed by the pressure. Cool death for that thing. Cool way to dispatch of that character. And then the aliens come and they pick up the body, and they leave her a souvenir, like, here, you earned this shit. You got the mark. We see it. Your brother marked you. You know our ways. He says you're good enough. We say you're good enough. We'll take the body, and good luck getting home. Have fun freezing to death, especially since your jacket got acid on it, and you can't wear that now, and no one is there to take you home. So you're fucked. You're probably going to die. But hey, you got a spear. Awesome. And then we find out that a predator gives birth to a predalien. I was trying to come up with a way to combine the two names for it to sound cool, but I just couldn't pull it off. So a predalien, a predator, alien, an editor. I mean, neither one really works all that well. All right, let's move on to the second one. So the second one, Alien versus Predator Requiem. Requiem for a dream. Requiem for fucking... What's that other one called? That doesn't matter. All right, so... Now, this is the one I preferred originally. Before I went and watched this, I would have told you I preferred this one over Alien vs. Predator, the first one. And I actually have to switch them now and say that Alien vs. Predator is the better film. The biggest issue with Alien vs. Predator Requiem is that it is so fucking dark. You cannot see what's going on so much in the movie. It's like prom night all over again for me. I think there's maybe an alien. What's going on? It's a damn shame, man. And it just is unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. There's no reason for this thing to be as dark as it is. All right. So, as I said, this one starts where the last one leaves off. The little alien breaks up out of the chest. It grows to full size in 6 seconds, of course. Takes down an alien spacecraft, which then just turns back around and heads towards Earth for some reason. And then it crashes there right next to this guy and his kid. And this movie does not fuck around. See, there is some really cool things about this movie. This movie does not mess around with kids and pregnant people, and like any person you think like, oh, they're off limits. Not in this movie. Not in this movie. This kid gets killed instantly, man. Well, I shouldn't say instantly. He gets taken down instantly by a facehugger, and then a freaking, chest burster breaks out of his chest. A child, okay? And then the freaking predator alien thing impregnates a pregnant woman, already pregnant, and turns her baby into multiple little xenomorph babies, and it breaks out of her stomach, and it's badass. It is so mean-spirited. I was expecting him to walk into like a maternity ward after that, and then just like impregnate a bunch of pregnant chicks, and then just have like 50 of these things running around out there. Because this movie really only features like one predator. So it was like aliens versus predator. And then you had a predator alien thing. And then we do get to see the predator that leaves in this. I think this is our only glimpse at the actual planet that the predators live on, from what I can tell. Because the one in Predators is not. It's like a habitat place. It's like a hunting ground. It's just a planet purely for going to hunt at. That is not their planet, or at least that's not the side of the planet that they use to live on. I don't know. I was trying to figure that out when I was watching that movie, but I don't think that's their planet. Oh man, having some like low paying, kind of embarrassing job like a pizza delivery guy, you should never be embarrassed if you actually have a job. Be embarrassed if you haven't worked in a long time and you don't have any desire to work anymore and all that, and you know, you have responsibilities that you need to tend to and you're not doing them because you're not working. Like, if you work at McDonald's, if you work at fucking Burger King, if you work at janitorials, whatever, be fucking proud of yourself that you have a job. Okay, so this kid is embarrassed because he has a pizza delivery job, and I can understand that, because I remember when I worked at McDonald's, I told people, I was like, one of the worst things about working at McDonald's is not that you're underpaid. It's not that the job is extremely demanding, because it is. It's the hardest job I ever had. And I worked construction. I worked all sorts of shit. McDonald's was the fucking toughest job I ever worked. It is so demanding. It is so unrewarding. And if you tell a girl you work there, when you go to hit on her or talk to her, she's like, loser. Like, I would rather go date someone who doesn't have a job. So I've always told people, like, if you work at McDonald's, man, you have a better chance getting laid if you tell a girl you're unemployed than that you have a job at McDonald's. So I get where he's coming from, but that's not the truth of things. And anybody who works fast food, let me tell you what, you do a seriously tough job. And anybody who tells you different, anyone who looks at you like you're a moron, I mean, you might be a moron, but at least you work hard. I don't know. You might be a genius. I don't know. I don't feel like that tells you one thing or the other. And I got some hilarious stories from McDonald's. I have some hilarious stories from every job I've ever worked, but I ain't going to tell them here. I'm already 26 minutes into this video, but regardless, it's a hard-ass job. But him going up there in this outfit, he doesn't want to wear the hat. And it goes up, and there's this dickhead inside who ends up assaulting him out at the car because he makes some pithy comeback that's actually pretty funny and on the money. And so he gets his ass beat up, and the girl comes out, and the boyfriend's like, get in the house, like a dickhead. And she kind of looks at the guy like, oh, and then just turns around and leaves. Okay, I don't care what happens past that point. That girl is a no-go. 100%, absolutely not, no fucking way. You do not ever date a girl who would do that to you. They would leave you out there on the ground, not say anything really to him. She's like, oh, stop. And then he comes and he's like, get in the house. And she's like, she doesn't ask him if he's okay. She doesn't walk over to him to help him up. She doesn't do anything. She just turns around and is like, I can't do anything to help you. I guess I just gotta obey my master. Bye. I would never. I don't give a shit what she did. I wouldn't. No. Nope. Now, if she wanted to come over and console me in a physical way, I'd probably let her do that. But then I would be like, you need to go. All right. Because you gotta have your morals, okay? You've gotta stick to your convictions, and sex trumps everything. No. All right. And then, so, yeah, as I said, the kid gets a chest burst. That's fucking great. And I like that the predator is able to pick up the dead predator's mask, put it on, and do an instant replay. Why don't we see that again in an instant replay? I thought that was pretty damn cool that we get to see that they have that kind of built-in technology of what they're recording, what they're doing. They're probably like sending it back, like, look how badass I am. Look what I killed. Look at my hunt. Probably watch them. It's like their sport. That's what they're doing. It's like the NFL or something out there on their planet, just kicking back and they're watching these guys hunt on TV. That'd be pretty cool. A predator reality show. They're broadcasting back to their planet. And so this girl, she comes back from the military and her kid wants nothing to do with her. Ouch. Go to serve your country. You go away, you risk your life, you do all these horrible things. And, do all these horrible things in the sense of like being away from your family, being away from home for so long, being out in fucking these grueling conditions all the time. Just not fun. And here you come home and your kid wants nothing to do with you when you're sitting there like, hey now, I'm a freaking patriot. How dare you? But I get it. I mean, the kid doesn't know any better. She doesn't care. She's just like, hey, I don't know you. Go away. I want dad to read me a book, but that would be absolutely devastating. I like that we kind of get Detective Predator in here, which reminds me of the Batman versus Predator versus Alien fan film that they made once upon a time. I remember the first time I ever saw that was at a swap meet. Some guy was selling copies of it, and he had it on the TV, and I sat there and I watched it, and I was like, wow, production value on this is incredible. They were able to borrow suits from the from the studios or something, and they were able to go film it. It's a really cool flick. So if you haven't ever seen that, YouTube the Batman versus Predator versus Alien film. Pretty amazing shit, especially for the time. I mean, this was a while. This is before I even moved to Arizona. So this movie's at least 15, 16, maybe even more, 20 years old. And one of the better fan films I have ever seen. And that was before fan films were much easier to make with the technology available to us. But yeah, we get like a Detective Predator in here. And the reason it reminds me of it is Batman's the world's greatest detective, which please, in the next Batman movie, please make him a detective. Make the whole fucking movie surrounded having him doing detective work. That's the Batman film that we need. Anyway, he has this ability to dispose of these bodies by just pouring a little bit of this mixture, this chemical mixture on them, and just the bodies just kind of disintegrate into the ground. Man, that guy, Predator could make some serious bank selling that to like serial killers in the area who need to dispose of bodies really quick. That'd be really handy. Unless it was melting hands. And then he sets up a laser grid both in the sewers when he goes around. He sets it up on both sides, and then he gets into this big fight with the aliens. But here's the thing: even though these fight sequences, the fight sequence at the end with the Predator alien and the alien and the Predator, and they're all fighting each other, it all looks badass. I think it's kind of like, this looks like it could be kind of badass. I don't know. I mean, there's some good gore and whatnot, and that's what this movie was going for. We're going for the R rating. And it was like, okay, cool. Can I see it, though? Like, if you're going to put gore in the movie, you're going to go for R. Am I okay? Is it classified? Oh, it's classified. It was classified gore. We didn't have clearance. So you would get special glasses, and then you could see the gore. Like, they're like, oh, declassified glasses. Shit, I got to send out for those in the mail. Get my little Orphan Annie decoder ring and my declassified glasses. What the fuck am I talking about? All right. He skins one of the guys and hangs him from a tree, which I get that's a callback to the other Predator movies, but I'm not sure how he did it there because he wasn't hunting that guy. He just so happened to stumble upon him and he killed him to keep him quiet because he was trying to get rid of people. And I don't know, it was just like hanging him up and skinning him. Aren't you supposed to be hunting something? You got time for this? Why not just dispose of the body really quick? Just seemed weird that he would take the time to skin a body and hang it up in a tree when he could have just disposed of the body. I don't know. As I said, I think it's just a callback, but it really just didn't make any sense to me. All right, so the girl breaks up with her boyfriend, meets him at a pool, and then gets his ass kicked again hanging out with this girl. I don't care how attractive she is, man. This chick is not worth the trouble. And I personally don't find her all that attractive anyways. I'm not saying she's not attractive. She is. She just doesn't really do much for me. I do love that she gets her ass cut in half in this, though. She walks in on that, like, boomerang type thing and just lifts her up, chops her in half. There's some surprising deaths in the movie, and there's surprising turnouts in the movie as well. The movie's pretty damn grim, and I will give it all the credit it deserves for that. I just wish I could have saw it. And the plot line here, it could have been, like, I liked kind of what they were going for, but I feel like they set up a lot of things that really didn't go anywhere. The mom and the daughter are almost estranged because of her leaving for the military, and then the guy and the girl, and he's trying to get her, and there's the asshole, and then there's the two brothers story, and then there's the woman who's missing her husband and her kid, and there's all these like storylines that are set up to be dramatic and have them kind of come full circle and all this, and it's like it doesn't ever really go anywhere. None of those really play out to much, and it's fucking annoying. All right, and we got the military versus the aliens in this, so we almost get a little bit of the freaking colonial marines in here, and it kind of feels like aliens a teeny bit, but yet again, can't really see much. And the fuck does that say? Oh, the doc's face gets caved in, so he gets the little mouth thing that comes through the mouth breaks through the guy's face and through his nose, and it just obliterates his nose. It's a cool shot. It's one of the only gore sequences you can actually see. And yeah, I already talked about that. The friggin' Predator in this movie has a bullwhip, and he's like slicing them in half with it, and he's taking them and he's throwing these little knife frisbees, and they're cut. Ooh, yeah, it's like the frisbee razor blades from frickin' not Malibu Express. Oh fuck, why can't I think of the name of that movie right now? Oh, now I'm really upset with myself. No, fuck you. I know that one. Alright, we'll come back to it. I'm gonna remember before this is over. God damn it. Shouldn't bring that up, but oh, you know what I'm talking about. Damn. On the spot. This is why editing sometimes could be your friend, so I don't look like an asshole right now. I know who the director is and all that. Alright, so I love that when he's fighting the alien predator thing, he catches its little mouth within the mouth. I don't know what the hell to call this thing, and he grabs it and he breaks it off and rips it out of the thing's face. That is amazing. That's something I wanted to see from any alien movie I've ever watched. Grab that little fucking mouth inside the mouth. What? Okay, I think maybe I discussed this before. I don't know. But how does that thing eat? Does the little mouth that comes out and like goes through things, is that the esophagus? Is it like the esophagus that extends and has teeth on it, and then that's what swallows through there? Because it can't be the around the outside of it is the actual throat, and then it goes down into the stomach, right? Like that thing that comes out is got to be the esophagus, where the food goes down. So that's why it comes out and eats and kind of retracts and goes. It's like a retractable straw. It's like so I don't know. Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Oh man, I was gonna be so upset with myself if I didn't come up with that. And then yeah, they kill each other. He breaks the thing off, and then he stabs him up through the face, and then the tail comes through. And one group of them says, "We're gonna go here, and we're gonna listen, and we're gonna trust where these guys are saying to go." And then the other girl's like, "Nah, you don't want to do that." And it's like, well, I hope we're both wrong, and I hope they're not gonna do anything. And those people, they trust the voice on the radio, and they trust where they're going, and they fucking bomb them, man. Reminds me of Return of the Living Dead. Like, they just nuke the city. And then I feel like, though, at the end, it's the way this film should have ended, with as dark as it was and how many taboos it created, it had a lot of taboos in it. Like, you don't kill kids, you don't kill babies, you don't kill stuff like that. And at the end of this movie, the government, the military, they wanted to wipe these people out, and there's witnesses to the fact they did that. And they got them medical assistance. Bullshit. They would have been ordered to kill them right then and there. And that would have been the ending that this movie should have had, because of how dark the rest of this film is. Of all the taboos they committed in this film, that was too happy of an ending for a movie that's this dark, both figuratively and literally. And was that not a nuke that hit there? Because if it is, they are all going to have some serious radiation sickness pretty soon. So I don't know what kind of bomb that was, but it looked pretty bad. It looked pretty beefy. So I don't know. Was it a nuke? Yeah. So there you go. All right, man. We reviewed the Alien franchise, all done. I got the Alien franchise and the Predator franchise completely done. And so there you go, guys. If you want to request a series, there's so many series left I haven't done. And you don't even have to request horror if you don't want. There's tons, hundreds, thousands of series. Or if you just want to request one film, or if you just want to throw a buck at the channel, you can go on over to the Patreon. All 2 of you that are still here who are already patrons. But if for some reason you're not, go check it out, man. It really helps out with the channel. Let me know. Well, I guess the notifications will let me know. I never know how to end a video. I feel like Stephen King. He always says, I don't know how to end a book. And it shows a lot of the times. And right now is one of those times where it's very much showing that I don't know how to end a video. So, yeah. Bye.